Our next speaker is Paul Kraft. Paul grew up on a farm in South Dakota and now works as the vice president of student services at TVCC. I think you could say that that's definitely a accretion from the farm in South Dakota to the vice president of student services. When not at work on campus, he and his wife, Vicki, enjoy hiking and biking and exploring the outdoors. Paul also enjoys working with power tools and turning big pieces of wood into smaller pieces of wood. Paul will be giving a speech entitled, "Need a New Home? Need a New House? Recycle an Old Barn." Please help me welcome Paul Kraft.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Recycling plastic, glass, paper, it's all pretty common for us to participate in any of these projects during a typical week. Pretty commonplace. You read a newspaper, you're done with it, don't toss it, you recycle it. Finish the soda out of the soda can or plastic bottle, you don't throw it in the garbage, you recycle it. But what about these farm buildings that were built for one function, and as the farming industry has changed, those buildings no longer serve the same function? We can burn them down, we can let them fall down, we can let a bulldozer take care of it. My challenge to you is for us to consider is, just like the plastic and the paper and the aluminum, we can recycle those as well. I'm going to spend the next few minutes talking about experience that my wife and I had in doing just that. Just briefly, what I want to do is talk to you about our experience with that. I'm going to give you 3 reasons why I think it's a good practice to follow. Then I'm going to give you 2 reasons why you should ignore everything I just said if you don't meet certain qualifications, and I'll wrap it up. I have a job where historically every 3 or 4 or 5 years I have left that position and moved to another location. Lived in Montana, Alaska, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, and now here. It's hard to gain equity, earn equity in a home when you're moving every 3 to 5 years. And my wife and I came to that realization that retirement age was approaching, and we were going to be faced with the very real possibility of being 65 years old and having another 20 to 30 years to pay for a house. So we did some brainstorming, and we came up with what we thought was a creative idea that involved taking down a barn in the plains of Nebraska, shipping it to southern Colorado, and building a cabin in the mountains. I'll give you 3 reasons why I now believe that was a great idea. In other words, 3 reasons why you should consider doing this. First is cost. To recycle a barn cost me $1. I bought a barn for $1, and we believe that minimally we were able to recycle about $12,000 to $18,000 worth of wood that went into our house. If you do a Google search, which I'm sure you will after my inspirational speech to you today, and you type in barns for sale, one of the sites you may get to is called the barn site. I did this last night. There are 178 barns for sale on the barn site. 86 of them are for less than $1,000. Several of them are for $1. Many people just want them off their property. That was the case that we stumbled onto. So the first reason is cost. You're going to get incredible return on your investment. The second reason I would challenge you to do this is quality. You will enjoy a quality of wood that you will not be able to get at the Ontario Building Center, the local Home Depot, or Lowe's. we were able to build a house out of Douglas fir, and the grain in that wood was straight, it was tight, the wood wasn't bowed, it wasn't twisted, it was long, straight, it was dried by nature for 100 years. And the wood, the quality of wood, the color, it was just the most interesting product and quality product that we could have far exceeded anything that we could have gotten from the local lumberyard. So for cost, quality, and third, what I call just the cool factor that you can't get buying lumber at the local lumber store. I love sitting in the great room and knowing that the wood floor that I'm standing on used to be the roof boards in a barn outside of Norfolk, Nebraska. Every one of those little holes there were put there by somebody 80 to 100 years ago when he attached the shingles to the boards. I love the fact that the 2x6s in the walls were at one time were the roof trusses of this barn. I love it that the trim around the doors and the windows used to be 1x6s that I'd cut down that used to be the pins that separated the hogs from the sheep, from the cows, from the horses. And finally, I enjoy the fact that that handrail that goes up the steps used to be a wagon tongue that I found in the corner of the barn. Was an extra surprise. So for those three reasons, you're going to save a lot of money. You're going to get a higher quality product, and the cool factor, the stories that you can tell. You can't do that anywhere else. Now let me give you the two reasons why you shouldn't do it, why you should hit the delete, the erase on everything I've said. One, if you have an aversion to pain or to hard work, do not do this, because it is incredibly hard work and it can be very, very painful. The first 2 or 3 nights that I tried to sleep after spending 8 to 10 to 12 hours on top of this barn, because when you tear a barn down, you don't do it from the ground, you do it from the roof down. I had to sleep with ice packs in my hand in order to numb the pains in my hands. It was so painful. Hours and hours and hours were spent pulling nails, running them through a planer, trimming the boards down to a regulation size or usable size. So there's definitely an additional amount of work there. Second thing, so if you have an aversion to pain and work, this isn't surprising for you. The second, if you have no friends, don't do this. Or if you have no friends that you can't con into helping you do this, don't do this project. This is not a solo, do-it-yourself, do-it-only-yourself project. Would I do it again? Absolutely. In fact, my wife is saying we need an addition onto our house. And I've located a gentleman who lives south of town who said, I have a barn. I heard you're interested in tearing it down. It's here. I'll help you do it. And so probably this summer, I'm going to be looking for some assistance in helping me tear this barn down. What do you think, friends? Thank you.